Good day, Conserving 915 family. Welcome to another episode of Conserving 915. We are your hosts, Angel.
And Pinche Steve is here.
What's up, guys? This is Ruben.
And, of course, David.
Your boy, David. But we got some really fresh topics for you all today. Some things that have actually hit the news and getting quite a bit of attention this week. First up on deck, we have the leading report saying breaking high-ranking officials within U.S. intelligence agencies, including CIA Director Mike Pompeo, allegedly withheld information from President Trump in fear he would disclose it to the public and are currently surveilling the former president, according to a James O'Keefe undercover investigation.
So James O'Keefe pretty much it's helping confirm stuff that we've already suspected.
Yeah.
And it really goes to show how if anybody says that Trump had an unsuccessful term as president, first term as president, a lot of it has to do with the people he was surrounded by, like the deep state. They were tripping him and setting up booby traps and just withholding information because they know that he is for the people. Like, we can't have that.
Did you guys end up seeing did you guys watch the whole thing? No?
I did not have time.
I got a chance to watch the whole thing after work, actually, and there were some pretty amazing comments that were made by this quote-unquote CIA contractor. But one of the things that I found rather, eyebrow-raising was the woman who was recording this guy. She asked him, did you actually, catch him giving this information to Putin? Because the CIA contractor was saying that supposedly the reason why they wouldn't give him a whole lot of detail whenever they were giving him summaries of the intel was because he was calling Putin in order to give him that information. So when she asked him, so you caught him doing that? He's like, no, but we know Trump is an idiot and blah, blah, blah. He started insulting Trump, dude, going off on on this rant about how stupid he says Donald Trump is, which it's kind of scary where you have a president of the United States, probably the guy who needs to know all this stuff. You're not giving him the information he needs to properly run the country and give orders. It kind of puts us in a really dangerous position. And from what I understand, that's actually a felony, you know?
Well, I'm just wondering, if they thought Trump was stupid, what do they think of the current idiot, you know? If these guys thought Trump was an idiot, I mean, what do they think of, what must they think of this guy?
Because what Trump said is very true. They're after you, and I'm just in the way.
Yeah. So, and people still get caught up in the, he's loud, he's this, whatever,
He said that you should grab women by the...
He tweets mean stuff.
As long as he is as long as he's not a complete marionette, then he would be considered stupid and dangerous to the people.
Right.
Oh, okay.
Right. If he thinks for himself and is for the American people, then he's dangerous and an idiot.
Okay.
So
I think that math counts.
Yeah, that does math. According to my calculations, the deep state is corrupt and evil.
Oh, what?
Well,
you heard it here first, guys.
I've been hearing a lot that
and nowhere else.
That the deep state's been in control ever since they killed JFK. Really?
Who's they though?
Well, who's they?
The intelligence agencies.
Oh man, we're just revealing all this kind of hidden information to you guys. I hope you're paying attention.
Write it down.
Write it down.
And I think RFK Jr. actually gave an interview about that and how I think Donald Trump didn't want to release the JFK assassination papers. And somebody quoted him as saying that if you knew what I knew, that you wouldn't release it either. But that just makes me feel like that's probably even more reason to release this stuff.
Yeah, just release it, man. You would be a hero. Even if, God forbid, something were to happen to the person to release this information, some accident were to befall this person, he would be considered a national hero.
It's unfortunate that, Donald Trump took something that was very safe and effective, but we won't go into any detail on that. But, what do you guys think?
Everybody has to have a flaw.
Yeah.
Unfortunately.
And some people have many flaws.
But I highly recommend you all watch this James O'Keefe undercover investigation. Yes. The guy sang like a canary. It was rather amazing. And a lot of this stuff is stuff that we already knew. We've already heard, but I don't think we had heard somebody admit to purposely withholding information from the President of the United States, Mm-hmm. But there were some, I think just this adds even more evidence to how corrupt our intelligence agencies are. They're not looking after the American people. And I think me and Ruben were having this conversation earlier this week. But look, we already had Edward Snowden. We had
Julian Assange.
Julian Assange, WikiLeaks. For decades, we've already known how corrupt these guys are. Nobody ever goes to jail. Nobody's ever apprehended. Nobody's ever reprimanded. And they just get even more bold and more brazen, and they get worse and worse. You know, we got to do something about it. But it's quite obvious that these guys can't police themselves. We can't trust them to do the right thing themselves. You know, we got to figure something out.
Yeah, I mean, even if we're not looking at all the covert and really bad stuff, like the really, really nasty things, just look at the budget right there. Like, look at the national debt. I think that's clue number one. That
And it's sure, like a lot of people say, why are you worried about a rich billionaire? And it's not that you're worried about a rich billionaire. It's that they can do it to him.
yes,
What can they do to you
Yes.
if they don't like what you're saying? You're much more vulnerable. You don't have money to pay to protect yourself. Like also in those congressional hearings, right? That they don't like you. They can download
CP.
CP into your computer, and at that point, everybody runs away from you. Nobody wants to be your friend. Nobody wants to be associated with you. And what if it
with
was
good reason?
Yeah,
but
of course.
But then it's like an easy way to assassinate somebody's character.
Yeah, of course. So that's pretty much what you have to worry about. If they can do it to someone like that, high profile guy, right?
Mm-hmm.
What can they do to you?
And if they're willing to go to the length of killing a president, JFK, what wouldn't they do? Everything's on the table at that point, you know?
Yep. That is if you do believe that it was an inside job, JFK, and he wasn't assassinated by this expert marksman. That was just crazy.
I had a magic bullet.
He had magic bullets.
Yeah.
Like, why weren't we able to replicate that and use that in other conflicts? You know what I'm saying?
Who knows? But
In any case, guys, you can't handle the truth. That's what they're telling us.
That's pretty much what they're saying, yeah. Just shut up, sit down on your couch, eat your chips that are laced with all kinds of poison, drink your high fructose corn syrup, and
Keep watching
watch
television.
the
keep watching Mr. Maddow and those unhappy. What do you want to call them?
game. Keep watching Netflix. Keep
No,
watching.
I want to refer to the people running that show, The View, that they listen to.
Oh, yeah. The
To those,
clucking hens.
Yeah, that or to those degenerates on The View. You get your news from them, or Mr. Maddow. I mean, or yeah.
And what did the current administration say? Like, let the adults start working? Or what was that?
Yeah, the adults are back.
The adults are back. Okay.
Meaning, we know what's best for you. Trust me, bro. You don't know what's best for you.
Which we have a lot of juicy stuff coming up, which goes to the contrary of that, by the way. So stay tuned. What's up? What's up next? What's on deck?
What's up next is that while the city of El Paso is trying to change its ways and become a more green city, we have news that our council can't handle a card.
Oh, we're back on that?
We're back on that.
It's popping
On
up
the
again.
gas card?
On the gas card. What, again, guys, it's even more. It's more once you get to see
That's
it.
what I'm saying. Like, we can't
more
trust.
excessive.
If we can't
gas
trust people
use.
in
At
a
the
position
local
of authority with something as simple as just a card to get your car around town, to do your stupid little campaign, to do your stupid little meet and greets, so you can talk to the people and hear them out and their concerns. And if we can't trust them with that, can we trust them with anything?
Well, I mean, if they can't budget their gas or their rides to be a little bit more efficient, are they gonna? No wonder the city is in debt. I don't know how many, like it's in the billions, right? It's a bunch of money.
But okay,
And then I probably wouldn't be as, I guarantee you, all these leftist politicians want to go green, and then they're spending more gas than the average person. I mean, not those gas bills. I mean, I don't think I spend that much gas.
so let's just do a little snippet right here. The findings show that in 2020, Hernandez's gas card was used to spend $1,700, the highest among all city reps that year. A close second was Rodriguez, with a bit less than $1,700. And in third place was former District 2 Representative Alexandra Anello with almost $1,400. The rest of the city representatives at the time spent less than $400 combined.
Combined, my guy.
That's a big difference.
Come on, guys. Seriously? Anyway.
And then wasn't the city manager on there recently too for they're looking at his spending too?
Oof. Yeah, it was all the kind of perks that he was getting that nobody else had access to. The humongous salary.
We need to fire whoever negotiated that guy's contract, man. It's for a city like El Paso. These guys were paying him like he was a New York mayor or something. With all those perks and benefits. We need to get rid of whoever did that deal too.
So, all that being said, geez, that really sucks. So, what's the point of all this? Like we were saying, we can't trust government officials, no matter what what scope that they have, whether it be here locally in El Paso.
It's almost like a mini deep state, right?
Like a mini deep state. It seems like it, and they call themselves nonpartisans. But you can, you can split a mountain with the huge partisan spear that these guys are wielding. And that's a microcosm, like you were saying, of what the federal government is. Like we're just in trillions and trillions of dollars in debt, and we just keep, with no end in sight. There's no way for us to claw our ways out of it.
And you just have to look at who these people get endorsed by. It's the people that were there before them, and then those people got endorsed by the people that were there before. So they're just passing, like the crown on to their next buddy, then their next buddy, then their next buddy, and it's just. It just becomes I think people should stop voting through endorsements. Just look it up, make up your own mind, look at your own research, stop being lazy. Like, to me, I even think endorsements should almost be illegal because that other lazy people that don't know what's going on, they're like, oh,
they're going to take it as gospel word.
Oh, my buddy likes this person, so I got to vote for him. And to me, pretty much, when someone endorses somebody, I'm like, oh, then that's probably not the right guy to go for.
That reminds me of all the signs that you see around town. When was the last time you saw, I'm not saying that we should vote all Republican, I'm not saying that, but when was the last time you saw a sign for somebody running for a position in government here in El Paso that is outright and overtly a Republican? They're all Democrats, all of them. Right? It's almost like, okay, we're conditioned to think like, oh, Democrats good. So, and that's pretty much what you're saying, because we know that the guy before was a Democrat and the one before that was a Democrat for how many years back? Like, no, we got to keep voting the same way, obviously, because it's working. Wink, wink. Because the other guy told me that it's working.
I was about to say, and I think it's really hard to break the cycle until it hits you at your front doorstep. It has to hit you directly personally in order to make like a huge change, rather than actually looking at what's going on in the news, what's going on like in your own home city, like here in El Paso, which we got another really good story coming up on that too. But I think a lot of people, they don't change their minds until it hits like their wallet really hard, or it hits their family member really hard. A lot of people, they just stick to the old ways that they had. And
it's very unfortunate. It goes to what both of you guys were saying. It's just complacency, being lazy about it. I don't care. People, and honestly, I don't even think a lot of people vote for much of anything.
Well, honestly, this seemed like a big deal, but I think it's out in the open. I honestly don't even trust the voting machines or
neither do I.
or what happens. Any electric machines. And a lot of people are starting to say this. I've always thought that, but now a lot of people are saying it. People are embarrassed to be called, oh, you want to go backwards, this and that. I don't think so. I still think paper ballots should be brought back.
Right.
It's
and
just
it should be a day where you can take the day off without any.
Yeah, because I really see this country as being driven to the ground, and I seriously doubt people will vote for this. So I do have my doubts.
Well, just look at some of these stories that we covered right now. We can't trust people with gas cards we can't trust people
To give
a
presidents
president
the information they need to run the country.
So how is it like so outlandish to believe that even the elections are rigged with all this other stuff that's going on? You know.
Yeah,
So-
and what I really want to put out there is that, and I'm not even saying to vote Republican, because there are some really scummy Republicans, a lot of scummy Republicans, and we're going to cover that a little later because of some stupid thing that passed in Congress. But at least look into it. At the very least, look into who you're voting. Right?
Oh yeah, I
Who
agree.
you're voting in.
100%.
Well, that gives you some sort of, what's the word? Confidence that they would at least head towards where you want the government to go towards. But once something happens, that's never a guarantee that, whatever they said, it really open your ears, that you follow what they're saying. When the moment of truth comes, they just fold.
Mm-hmm.
They fold.
Yeah, they do.
Like a bad Texas Hold'em partner.
Like we saw with the District 1 rep guy. Like, sure, there was some reason because of bias or whatever. But, like with Brian Kennedy, as soon as he came into the council, what was his first action? Not voting. Like, no, man, make a stand. Yeah? If you don't agree with the way that we're going to be spending money by this stupid MCP or MPC, the
Multi-purpose
multi-purpose center. Like,
NPC.
if you don't agree with it, then vote against it. Don't just be like, no, because I'm gonna have a bias. I'm like, no. That doesn't fly, man. That doesn't fly. When somebody is elected into an office, they carry with them the weight of the people that voted them in, their views, their concerns. And if you're not willing to stand up for them, the people who voted you in, then you don't deserve that position to begin with. So anyway, let's move on. What's the next thing?
So if we needed more evidence that we can't really trust our representatives to represent, even though they're taking our taxation,
Well, yeah, they're getting
our
paid
taxes, they're getting paid anyways. There has been a bill that's been passed by the grand majority of Republicans, which is called the Anti-Semitism Awareness Act, which is in the name itself. I hate it, because how can you vote no to that?
It's like saying, "Save the Puppies Act."
Yeah, exactly.
It's like it's so venomous, It's so malicious, the wording,
So this is H.R. 6090 by the 118th Congress. What are the words to this bill? To provide for the consideration of a definition of anti-Semitism set forth by the International Holocaust Remembrance Alliance for the enforcement of the federal anti-discrimination laws concerning education programs or activities and for other purposes. So as part of the definitions, number 2 includes the contemporary examples of quote-unquote anti-Semitism identified in the IHRA definition. So what are some of those examples, guys? Contemporary examples of anti-Semitism in public life, the media, schools, the workplace, and in the religious sphere could, taken into account the overall context, include but are not limited to using the symbols and images associated with classic anti-Semitism, e.g. claims of Jews killing Jesus or blood libel to characterize Israel. So here, what we're looking at right now is actually a tweet by Matt Gaetz. A couple of the examples that were included are Acts 4:10. Be it known to you all and to all the people of Israel that by the name of Jesus Christ of Nazareth, whom you crucified, whom God raised from the dead, by him this man is standing before you well. And he also included 1 Thessalonians 2:14-16, Acts 3:14-15. But this is what his tweet reads. This evening I will vote against the ridiculous hate speech bill called the Anti-Semitism Awareness Act. Anti-Semitism is wrong, but this legislation is written without regard for the Constitution, common sense, or even the common understanding of the meaning of words. The gospel itself would meet the definition of anti-Semitism under the terms of this bill. The bill says the definition of anti-Semitism includes contemporary examples of anti-Semitism identified by the International Holocaust Remembrance Alliance, IHRA. One of those examples includes claims of Jews killing Jesus.
Claims.
The Bible is clear. There is no myth or controversy on this. Therefore, I will not support this bill. Thank you,
Well,
Matt Gaetz.
not even just the Bible, like history. Like if you go back and look at history, there was such a person as Jesus, and he was crucified by the Romans, but the Romans didn't crucify him just because. He was turned in by
Hebrews.
Hebrews. There you go. By the Jewish people. Now,
Well, then again, we go again with the whole representation thing, because it was the authority that pushed the people to claim for the death of Jesus Christ,
right.
as in the higher ups being the people being manipulated by the higher ups.
I mean, we're going back to the same. Like people of authority cannot be, for the most part, a lot of them cannot be trusted, and they lead people astray. So what Matt Gaetz is saying here, basically, this whole bill, it pretty much spits in the face of the First Amendment of the Bill of Rights. So there's a double standard. There's a contradiction. What's going on here? I hope it just passed the Congress, right? And some Democrats and Republicans did vote against it, but it passed anyway.
the
Now it needs to
overwhelming-
get,
The majority of the Republicans voted for it. Yeah,
which is
The Union Party.
the Uniparty. Yeah,
In
those
that
are the
case-
kinds of okay. So everybody grab a list of all those people that voted for this bill and vote them out. They
Yeah.
need to be removed from office because we know for a fact that they do not care about you.
and we need to become monitors and volunteer for those dates in which the elections occur. Make sure you guys keep your eyes open, your ears open.
Yeah, don't let them keep you out with Bristol board or anything.
Don't let them pull out another 2020 fake Biden victory.
Make sure all the restrooms are working.
Yes, exactly.
And then people say, well, because I know we're bringing this up, people bring this back. People will be like, well, the courts have looked at it and they don't take up the cases because there obviously wasn't any fraud. Well, you forget that all those judges not taking the cases are Democratic installed puppets. You're assuming that the judges are.
They never even looked at the cases.
You know,
Let's be honest. They're like, no, it's Trump. Throw it out. Under what grounds? Because there's no evidence. Like he didn't even look at the evidence. No evidence.
And then funny thing is, now that Biden knows, he's like, I know a lot of people that supported him, and now they're disgusted with him. Now he's saying, oh, I can't spread my message because of the misinformation out there. I mean, dude, that guy's ridiculous. Now that he knows he's losing, he's blaming it on misinformation, right? You know what I mean? But
I think even one of the cases on the election integrity got rejected by the Supreme Court. And I think in one of the dissenting opinions too, which was by Clarence Thomas, he even said, well, what's the point of the Supreme Court if it's not like to make a judicial decision on these types of topics, you know? And I think it got voted down by a lot of the Uniparty judges, you know, like the Democrats and like the ones, I guess the non-Clarence Thomas types.
the ones
you
that
know?
Bush appointed.
Yeah, exactly. But if I can find it, I'll throw in a link on that too. But it's amazing.
Are any of the Bush appointments still up there? I forget.
That's a good question. I don't know.
Who appointed Thomas? Was it it was one of the Bushes, right?
I don't remember.
But I remember because he got accused of a bunch of sexual harassment by what's that lady's name? Juanita something. I think?
Pubes on a Coke can or something.
Yeah, something like that. Yeah.
And then Biden said the N word very.
He was like, "Ooh, I get to say it again."
Yeah. Clarence
Oh, yeah.
Thomas nominated July 8th, 1991 by George H. W. Bush.
Mr. Bush. I mean, even a wrong busted clock is right 2 times a day.
Not if it's digital.
That's a good one, dude. I hadn't heard that one before.
Nice.
So,
But, we had a couple of other opinions on social media that I thought brought up some really good points.
Oh yeah, coming back to this.
Who was Roberts appointed by? That's the guy that's confusing me. He was a
Bush Jr. now?
Yeah, right. So it was, he turned out to be a clown too, right?
Yeah.
For him, it's like a flip of the coin. He'll side with the liberal judges, or he'll stand his ground.
And what we're looking at right now is a tweet from one of our newest Catholic sisters, Candace Owens.
Yay!
She writes, when are Christians going to wake up? First professing that Christ is king during Easter week is anti-Semitic. Now the true story of Christ's death is deemed anti-Semitic. Christians are being told that acknowledging our doctrine or history is a form of anti-Semitism, which I think a lot of folks will recall that indeed during Easter, just writing Christ is king, we were being accused of being anti-Semites. So I don't know. Like, to me, I think we really got to draw a line here. This is getting, to me, it's a little absurd that now just having a faith, being a Christian, being a Catholic, you're automatically ascribed the moniker of anti-Semite, you know?
That's like, what?
Just even, not even religiously, just even using the word hag that is used in Halloween.
Oh, that was another one too.
On
Yeah.
Halloween all the time, right? A hag is a witch.
Oh,
Yeah.
okay.
All of a sudden, that was anti-Semitic.
Well, I play Dungeons and Dragons from time to time, and there's a monster in there called a night hag,
Wow.
and it is
Well,
a witch
that's
lady.
anti-Semitic.
So that.
You're being anti-Semitic.
Oh no, Dungeons and Dragons is anti-Semitic as well.
Wizards of the Coast, be careful. They're going to go after your money.
And I thought you guys were big libs. So yeah, these guys are quaking in their boots.
It just, and it seems to me, I don't know about you guys, you all might disagree with this, but it seems like just the anti-Semite name is being assigned to anybody who these guys don't like, you know?
It's the new bigot. It's the new racist.
Like, I
It's the
can't
new
believe
homophobe,
hag.
transphobe.
I can't believe using the word hag, it makes you an anti-Semite, dude. Like, that to me is, it's really ridiculous. And
It sounds to me like this is being pushed by a bunch of hags.
And we seriously do need to vote all these guys out of Congress, all the people that voted for this. This is an infringement not only of like our religious beliefs, but also in the First Amendment, man. This is silly. This is, like, I feel like this isn't even, these guys aren't even representing the United States of America anymore, man.
So, Candace, no, you're right. They're not.
Well, and people are using it loosely for whatever, whenever it's convenient, like that Mayorkas guy. When they were talking about totally nothing to do with race, religion, nothing to do with the Holocaust.
Some people were.
They're talking about border enforcement, and he brings up that
it was
He was offended and insulted.
and then he brings up how his family was in the Holocaust. And which is, it's an ugly thing, it's a sad thing, but that had nothing to do with what they were
With his poor performance.
with his performance,
Yeah, I hate it when people use these labels in order to like shrug off their accountability.
Yeah.
It's pretty much what it sounds like.
Yeah, it's just another way of shouting you racist. So, this Candace Owens is reacting to a post by Matt Walsh, and he's just pointing out the different clauses in this supposed bill, in this travesty, denying Jewish people their right to self-determination, e.g., by claiming that the existence of a state of Israel is a racist endeavor.
Which, by the way, before you read points 2, 3, and 4, I think there are the Orthodox Jews. I've actually seen interviews of them in New York that are against this.
Yeah,
you know?
they don't want.
So are these?
They don't support Israel as a state.
So are there anti-Semites then?
Yeah.
Is this
because they don't support?
Well,
We'll see. That's and that's a personal opinion. I mean, I don't know. Like I support Israel as a state, but I just support free speech too. You know
I
what
acknowledge that it exists. That would make me a Zionist.
But then again, I'm like, who am I supposed supporting? That's, you know what I mean. That's kind of like.
I just don't like the fact that we're sending money over there. But okay, fine. You guys can defend yourselves.
But my point is that there's large Jewish sects too that are against the Jews having their own state, right? So, like, technically, are those Semites anti-Semites then,
Yes,
based on
they
this
are.
bill?
Effectively, according to this bill.
Alright,
Also, applying double standards by requiring of it a behavior not expected or demanded of any democratic nation. All right, next, using the symbols and images associated with classic anti-Semitism examples, claims of who were just looking at Jews killing Jesus or blood libel, to characterize Israel or Israelis, which is just basically saying you're not allowed to be Christian or profess your faith as a Christian, Catholic, whatever kind of denomination, whatever it is. Drawing comparisons of contemporary Israeli policy to that of the Nazis. Well, who's doing that, really? Comparing the IDF to the Nazis.
Well, anyone who is considering that Israel is currently
Ethnically
cleansing Palestine.
Oh, I see what you mean. Which it's, for the most part, Israel seems to be defending itself against an attack or series of attacks.
Yeah. Well, unfortunately, those I mean, it's like people say, those guys have been going at it for like what 2,300 years or whatever.
Yeah,
So
I'm gonna have to agree with Ruben. Yeah.
Yeah, try finding a starting off point, and then we'll talk.
and then the thing about it is, I heard some hosts saying earlier that these guys don't get along. So then we import a bunch of them here. So then they don't get along here. And now we see what's happening at the universities, right? Which is part of the reason why this is being implemented or wanting to be implemented, because you import, and I'm not even getting into who should be here, who should not be here, but pretty much you let two people's, like thousands of people, or who knows how many thousands and thousands of people that don't get along in their own countries. And then they come over here, they don't get along here. Well, I mean, what would be the obvious thing that's going to happen here? Are they all of a sudden going to magically get along here and prove 2,000 plus years of history wrong?
Only
or are they not going to get along here too?
No, they're probably not going to get along here too, and they're going to be bubbles and they're going to be pockets of conflicts.
And then they'll probably show the exception, like Anthony Weiner and Uma Habedin, or what's her name, that they got married.
Huma Abedin, yeah.
Uma Habedin.
I'm not sure
You
who
know
those
who
people
Anthony
are.
Weiner is, too?
But I think they ended up getting divorced.
So even that didn't
That's
work.
not even
out.
a good example either.
Didn't Adam Sandler make a movie of that?
What?
Don't mess with the wrong hand.
Happy Gilmore.
The Zohan.
The Zohan.
Oh, the Zohan.
Do you don't know who Anthony Weiner is?
No.
Uma Habedin. She's Hillary's right hand lady.
Nope.
Okay. Anyways.
So, in any case,
So yeah, these are the points. Read it a few times. Try to wrap your hand around it, and see the utter ridiculousness of these standards. This is what's going to be held against us.
Yeah. And it's like, by these standards, like even didn't Biden call Netanyahu a big asshole?
Did he?
Yeah, I think he did. Right? Was it Netanyahu?
No.
Yeah. So I mean, he's probably being anti-Semitic there, right? Calling the leader of the Jewish state a asshole.
So what about Soros? I don't even think he's Jewish. He's just like not by faith, but he's probably some kind of secular.
I always get confused, like, because I've heard, I don't know, but I've heard that Jewish is a race or a religion.
Both. No, it's both.
So it's both.
Well, no, it's both and either or.
Okay.
Because you can
that's just confusing.
Yeah, you can be ethnically Jewish but secular, or Christian. Like I think of Trent Horn. He's an apologist and he's great. You should check him out. The Council of Trent on YouTube. Yeah, I think he is like ethnically his background is Jewish, but he is Catholic and he's a Catholic apologist. People like Andrew Clavin, we were talking about him as well before the recording. Same thing. Parents Jewish. He like ethnically, but he converted to Christianity. But
I like that sister you listen to.
Mother Miriam?
Yeah.
Mother Miriam. Oh. But a person doesn't necessarily have to be ethnically Jewish to be a Jew by faith, by religion, if you will.
Yeah, I know a bunch of Mexicans that are Jews.
That's a little weird, no?
Yes.
Aren't they chosen? Aren't they chosen people? I'm not gonna get it. We're not gonna get into the whole Jewish
I know,
theology, but no.
Plus,
you're right.
Not that we don't want to get into it. We probably
It's
don't
either
even know.
or. It's both. It's a weird thing, which kind of furthers this the unstable nature of all these demands. Like, are you talking anti-Semitic by calling out the Jewish religion, or anti-Semitic by calling out the ethnic, the people who are ethnically Jewish?
And that's why I didn't want to have like a huge opinion about the Israel thing, because I think like peace and like friendship is the best way for both parties to prosper, for like the world to prosper. Honest trade, that's all really good stuff. Like, to me, in my head, like I think the only way to resolve this stuff is to, hey guys, all the leaders from one side and the leaders from the other side, y'all gonna have to come together, hammer out a the solution, either both of y'all can live together, work together, or none of y'all, man, can y'all go your separate ways. You guys leave that alone to somebody else. If you guys can handle working together, living together. And the other reason I say that too is about peace is because I don't want my tax dollars to be used to blow other people up. I don't.
Of course.
I don't want to be part of like any of the warfare going on in any of the countries, and I don't want anybody to ascribe anything that's going on over there to like, oh, the Americans are funding this or funding that. Like, I don't want to be a part of the destruction. I don't want to be a part of the death.
What did that wise man said? I want people to stop dying.
Oh, who said that? It was a great
the
man.
orange guy, right?
Yeah, I think he was orange. I don't know who it was though. He had great hair.
Generally, that would be a good thing, yeah, right, for people to stop dying.
But
silently.
just the mere fact of you expressing that could be construed as anti-Semitic.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Oh, you don't think we should help?
You want us? You don't want us to win? Like, oh my
Well,
god!
see, some other guy was also on the radio today saying, well, you know, we're funding both sides.
Yeah, exactly. That's what I'm saying. I don't want my money.
So it's so these guys are going at it, and you're feeding money to both of them. And there was a wise man that once said, you know, that about foreign aid, and this is Ron Paul, taking money from poor people in a rich country and giving it to rich people in a poor country. And that's the way it works. Like whenever they say, oh, we're gonna give this much to all these people, and then the people remain poor. So I'm wondering who did it go to? You know, so like a lot of times when conservatives say, oh, we don't want tax money to go over there or whatever, people are like, oh, you don't want to help people. Think about all those billions, and the people in those countries are still poor. The people in those countries are still fighting each other. So I don't know if feeding more money into is
obviously it hasn't
the
worked
problem.
over the last several decades.
Yeah. And then on top of that, now the United States is in debt. Your money's buying less.
At least they're going to be in debt too.
Well,
That's not the plan.
I guess.
yeah.
Cover our own debts with their debts. In any case, how did Hamas get into power, guys?
Because they're super awesome and cool.
They were elected. People elected them.
I'm sick of this. Let's go to the next thing.
So, just in case, guys, we're going to go ahead and look at our great friends, the Tories, to see what they're going up against. Because apparently there's quite a bit of similarity that they're trying to limit people's thinking, as our Congress is trying to limit our own through the quote-unquote anti-Semitism bill. Well, we see here that according to Kay Smith, writing for the Daily Caller, Douglas Murray published a scathing review of the British government's counter-terrorism PREVENT program.
Okay, the program is called PREVENT. Now, what does this PREVENT program do?
You prevent stuff?
It prevents. Yeah, it tries to call out extremism of all sorts. But it looks like they're really just skewing to one side.
No, of all sorts, on the right side.
And how do we catch these supposed extremists to be?
We catch them by reading,
By
by
looking
seeing
at what
them,
they read?
by understanding what they read.
So, according to the PREVENT program, it's apparently reported that authors like George Orwell, he was a left guy.
Yeah.
J.R. Tolkien and C.S. Lewis can radicalize readers.
What?
So we got a lefty, a Catholic, and a Protestant there.
Well, he was almost Catholic. He was like this close, and then he died. C.S. Lewis.
Yeah,
He was like this close.
like so many others, so close.
Man, but still one of the best apologists in history.
Dude, like read his books. Like Mere Christianity, it really helped me out.
Yeah, same
when
here.
I was in times of trouble when I couldn't get the girls to sleep, I just read that to them, and they woof like that. I was not even a page in, and they're all asleep. But then I would be right there in the room, like, oh, I'll go on.
Understand this, guys. His kids are Spanish speaking, and he read it to them in English.
Oh,
So.
well, of course. Well, that's the only version that I have.
So of course they would sleep. In any case, so apparently the It started, as it says there in the program, to support counter-terrorism efforts, but has gradually swayed into a focus on only extremists from Islam and far-right ideological mindsets.
This really bothers me because it kind of conflates the two. A far right extremist and an Islamic extremist are they're mentioned in the same breath. That way, you can kind of put it in.
Kill two birds with one stone.
You can
Yeah.
put it in people's minds that they're one and the same, or
Yeah.
at the very least, they're very closely related, which I do not agree with. I mean, maybe when you get all the way to the far right extremists, to the neo-Nazis and stuff like that, yeah, maybe they're a little closer to Islamic terrorists in the fact that they want to do a lot of ethnic cleansing.
But you could say that there's also the opposite end, the far left people. Those guys should be in there too, you know.
Well, let's
we
see
don't
what
talk
it
about
says.
those
Like
guys.
the Black Lives Matter that were burning all the
Communists.
cities down and stuff.
Yeah, socialists.
When was the last time? Well, anyways.
Yeah,
That was sounding like biting on. Anyways, when he forgets what he's going to say.
like when you don't know what else to say.
I've said too much.
I'm gonna get in trouble. So, Prevent. This was founded in 2019, and it's reviewed annually. The purpose of the review is to consider Britain's strategy for protecting people vulnerable to being drawn into terrorism, and to make recommendations based on the findings. What are these recommendations? Well, in the review itself, written by William Shawcross, he notes that while the boundaries for extremist Islamist ideology are too narrow, boundaries around the idea of extreme right ideologies are too broad. This apparently hinders Prevent, the organization, from effectively dealing with the risk posed by this mindset. But doesn't it also ignore a whole other ideological spectrum of extremist far-left ideologies too? I do, and that's kind of like what we were getting at. It looks like they're really only focused on one direction, and that's what we say almost every episode. Like, don't trust a lot of the corporate media because it skews in only one direction. It always seems to benefit leftist views, and it only gives the benefit of the doubt to Democrats or liberals and things like that, and it always paints in a negative light anyone who has even the slightest tinge of right-wing sentiment.
But David, I thought we already covered that the problem with the media
It's not liberal enough.
is not liberal enough, according to the experts.
The experts
We're the
Come on.
experts.
Experts say that you're correct.
Exactly. I like them experts.
But I don't know. To me, it's just like that 1984 book. It's becoming reality. So people are
Soma?
so they don't want you to, huh?
It's the Soma, the drug.
What do you mean?
Well, that was
I
like
don't know what
that was like to dumb down.
Oh, is that Because I read that book in
Oh
high
no,
school.
that
so
was
I
Brave
could-
New World. Man.
I was about to tell you, I think,
Yeah,
yeah,
you're right.
something else.
Yeah, well, I had to do Brave New World was a big thing when I was in college in about 5,698 years ago. We had to do a report on that one. And wasn't that about people becoming robots or something? Or am I
84.
mixing-
Actually, I haven't read that one.
No, the Brave New World.
Oh, okay, that you got.
Well, because you brought up Brave New World.
I brought it up. I only
Or wasn't it like, if not robots, weren't they like genetically modified humans? or something? Yeah, that's what I'm
genetically,
confusing.
people
about.
were made in labs.
Yeah, right, something like that. But anyways,
pretty
1984 is becoming kind of like what's happening right now. I mean, your cell phones are being listened to, your text messages. Pretty much you're being watched every day of your life.
I should probably read it. Oh, maybe you know what? Maybe I
You're
won't.
being
'cause
prosecuted for hate think.
You're already living it.
Oh,
You have to
really?
read it.
I'm already living it, so I don't.
You're
know.
on some FBI list
on,
just
man.
for buying a Bible. You're anti-Semitic because you're Christian.
For acknowledging that the election was stolen. You're
That's the one with the double speak, right?
yeah.
Oh, okay.
But in any case, I doubled down, guys, and I bought 2 Bibles.
You bought two.
So you're on double.
You know what? I'm gonna buy one, but just because that kind of sucks. Like the one I have, the letters are tiny.
Oh, yeah.
The text message you got. Now I'm gonna get the ones with a
With the
size
big
of
letters.
14, 16 font.
Because we all know that Ruben has been here for couple of thousand years. He's in great shape,
Couple
guys.
dozen.
His eyes have served him well, but it looks like
Dude. No, anymore.
He's getting kind of getting like Biden. Can't read the prompter.
He's getting plenty of magnesium and omega
I'll
threes
cut that
though.
out. I'm sorry.
So yeah, my eyes are getting a little bit worse. Pause.
Okay, I get it.
Clap.
Yeah.
Wait for clap.
Applause.
Pause. Repeat the line.
So this guy, he's just he's saying that it's getting kind of ridiculous how just reading, like this guy says, reading the classics, not only prevents but other kinds of activist groups like this other one, Extinction Rebellion, they're very against reading that kind of literature, even historical documents. They're like, no, don't read into history. That's like what that one guy, Shane Gillis, what he says. I'm a big history buff, and that is early onset Republican. Like, I feel it coming. Like, when I'm reminded by that, it's a kind of a saying. People who start, religiously speaking, Protestants who study the history of the church, they end up Catholic. Because you realize that, oh, yeah, this is actually based on true things.
It's based, dude. It's based.
So, yeah, it's based. So, when the same thing happens when you go into just civil history, societal history, all that kind of stuff, you start realizing and connecting dots like, oh, you know what? Communism is bad. Oh, it's really bad. It ends up with piles and piles of dead bodies, as Phil Labonte says. Lead singer of All That Remains. Great stuff.
Wasn't the guy from Max Sabbath?
Max Sabbath. No, not the guy from Concord.
The guys you listen to.
In any case, guys, it's not that you end up Republican. You end up having a line of thought that tends to be Republican. Okay?
It's never Democratic.
It's never Democratic.
With a big D.
But if you guys need a fun fact, this proves that Britain is a lot worse than the USSR back then, when Tolkien was alive and writing, because the USSR did not ban his books, especially the Lord of the Rings. They let the Russians read that like the newspaper. And now
It's a good series.
I tried watching the movie. I told you no, I was out like in 2 minutes.
Oh, man. I cry with that movie, man. Seriously.
Dude, all right.
okay.
With those movies. Plural.
Guys.
In any case, we can't handle the truth,
No, we can't. I mean, we go back to the same thing. That's what we opened with.
and we know of one person who absolutely can't handle the truth, who is our Pop Idol, Miss Taylor Swift. So what'd she do when she found out the truth?
She realized that, this looks bad, experts say. Florida student targeted with cease and desist by Taylor Swift reveals climate crusader flew 178,000 miles in 1 year. So she's saying that everybody else should cut back on their carbon footprint, but holy crap baskets, she flew a lot. That's a lot of fuel, no? That's
If you sell out stadiums, you're exempt.
Imagine all those guys in her concerts exhaling carbon dioxide, farting methane,
Some of them are probably flying in from out of town.
flying from out of town.
Quick
Wow.
fact, guys. The Earth has a diameter of 7,926 miles.
Dang.
Oh, wow.
Wait, so she flew around the Earth 178 times? You said 7,600
7,926
For some reason, that seems small.
Dang, man, she was really that. Oh, so we're gonna have to look up some memes because there's a lot of memes that saying Taylor Swift wanting to go to Taylor Swift going to the bathroom instead of plane going from one side of a mountain to another side of
And you know what?
mansion to another side of the mansion.
And the thing about it is, I gotta be clear. I don't care if she flies all that. It's none of my business. But what's our point, guys? What's our point? Tell them, David.
The point is that she advocates for everyone going green. She wants you to stop using up so much gas and burning up so much gas You need to stop that because you're the dirty proletariat, not her because she's the special person.
Yeah, that's
She has to do all those concerts, man. She's saving
else?
people with those concerts.
they don't do virtuals anymore like we did during COVID. She can
No.
do that. No, she really cared about the environment.
No, I don't. No, because people have to see her. In order
And
to-
again,
because if you see her in the flesh, that's what makes people convert and say, you know what, that's true. I do have to go green.
And again, I just want to make it clear, like if she has the money to fly even to the restroom,
Power to you.
that's cool, man. Good for you.
Go capitalism.
But not for the rest
It's
of
like
us.
if you want to go green, why don't you start with yourself?
That's a good idea. Promote more online, like pay-per-view stuff.
Virtual concerts and stuff like that. Yeah.
There.
Yeah. We were gonna do 30 minutes. We ended up with 53.
Yeah, sounds good with me. Well, all right, everybody. Well, thanks for joining us for another episode of Conserving 915. Once again, we are your hosts, Angel.
El pinche Steve is not here anymore.
Ruben.
He's leaving.
Oh, and I guess I'm Dave, but you already knew that, didn't you?
But we covered quite a few hot topics this week. We'd like to know what your opinions are on this stuff.
Please leave a comment.
Leave a comment, leave a like. Let us know what you think. Let us know your opinions on every single one of these topics that we covered. And I guess we'll see you next week. Take it easy.
Peace.